Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a quick talk on why nuclear power, because of mainly political concerns, won't be the energy source I think the West will turn to in coming decades. And to start this off, we're going to start with an emblematic speech here by Mike Pompeo that he gave in Taiwan a few weeks ago. And this explains a point that I think many uranium investors are missing, so let's get started. When I read this paragraph early on in the speech, you'll quickly see what I'm talking about. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says, "This war is a clarion call. Energy and economic security along with military strength are the pillars upon which geostrategic power and peace rest. Energy is the fundamental basis for everything we consume. If energy prices spiral further, the economies of every nation will fragment, leading to massive worldwide recession and to authoritarian regimes coalescing their power in a time of turmoil and political strife. Indeed, if Russia is allowed dominion over the Donbass and Ukraine's coast, Putin will next seek control of the energy resources of other independent countries, as well that were once part of the Soviet Empire. Russia will become a juggernaut dominating fossil fuels in addition to its present lead in supplying nuclear power plants to recipient nations." So here he's talking about a present lead in supplying nuclear power. Now what does this mean? We have here a list on Wikipedia of the world's largest uranium producers by size, and here you'll quickly see a major problem. So the number one producer of the world in uranium is Kazakhstan, coming in at 40%, which is quite a concentrated amount. And as everyone knows, Kazakhstan borders Russia and was once part of the Soviet Union, and many feel that it's more under the Russian sphere of influence than obviously the Western one. Now coming up to compete, there are two US allies, Canada and Australia, but you see adding their production together, that only comes to 15%. And then coming in now at 6%, obviously there's Russia. So if you add that to Kazakhstan, that's 45%, nearly half of the entire world supply. China coming in at 3.52, more than the US at just 1%, and there's Ukraine obviously at 2% here in the balance. So you can see here there's a great concentration of uranium production in countries that Washington doesn't necessarily trust, and I feel like this is one of the biggest barriers to nuclear adoption, and this is a problem that many who are touting a nuclear future don't talk about. And as you can imagine, in the short run, losing access to the Kazakh source of uranium and the Russian source of uranium would be good for uranium prices in the West from these remaining producers, and this is why you're seeing many nuclear plants shut down. Now what's the point of talking about concentration of production if we don't compare it to something? Now let's compare it to oil, and this is one type of energy many people can easily see has been weaponized, but let's look at the concentration here. So we have the number one producer in the world actually is the United States, and you see that the US production of oil is actually above, if not matching, Russian production of oil. Saudi Arabia comes in third place, and their number is not significantly different from Russia and the United States, coming behind there with Canada. So you can see both sides have about an equal share of the production. Now obviously the price of oil is very fragile, but both sides feel like they have their own domestic supplies. This concentration being split evenly between both powers and not too concentrated necessarily in one country to the point of 40% is a serious problem for nuclear energy. Another concern is the cost of energy. While this is mainly due to investment and subsidies, it is true that solar power has come down dramatically in cost over the past decade, whereas nuclear power has only increased in cost. So as a result, nuclear power has maintained its share, if not slightly declining its share of US energy production, while declining in Europe and Asia, and solar and wind have expanded. So that leads us to the uranium producers that we have access to in the stock market. Most of these are based out of Canada and the United States, and while I find that many of them have benefited from the recent increase in the price of oil due to the danger and threat of the Kazakh uranium supply, if you look under the hood of these companies, it's not a cheery situation. Now in the membership section of this channel, I'm going to have a more full, detailed breakdown of the financials behind all of the major uranium producers, but today we're going to be doing a quick overview of these. So first, we're going to start with the largest uranium producer, which is Cameco Corporation, CCJ. It is on the New York Stock Exchange. You'll see the last year it's gone up 37% in price, and over the last 5 years it's gone up 122% in price. But if you compare that to the financials, you'll see that every single year this company has posted financial losses, except for 2018 and 2020. And what I think is worth cautioning too is that the market cap each year has increased 50% and 60% the last 2 years, despite the fact that their revenue declined in those two same years. And if we look at the price to sales ratio and the price to book ratio, you'll see here we have a +7 and a +2 respectively. And even if you just compare that to other energy companies and other mining companies, for example, here's Marathon Petroleum Energy. They have a price to sales of 0.3 and a price to book of 1.9. So this is under 2 and under 1 respectively. And if you go to Rio Tinto PLC, which is a mining company that actually posts positive revenue growth over the past many years, you'll see once again that the price to sales and price to book is under 2. This is definitely not the case we have here for the strongest uranium company on this list. If you want my full financial statement breakdown on all of these uranium companies, including Denison Mines Corporation, DNN, become a member of this channel and that video will be up very soon. Subscribe to the Telegram channel for up-to-date investing information and news, and thanks for watching.